What's going on, guys? I am excited to share with you part 3 in the assembly process today, and the plan is in this video to get a lot of stuff done and a lot of the mechanical stuff tied together. Alright, I know you guys are ready to see this bike come together, so I'm going to get to work. If you guys enjoy the video, hit that like button for me, and if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to see what's coming next. So we're going to start off on the wheel here. I got it all pulled off, and as I mentioned in the last video, I'm going to switch out these old OEM rotors for some new ones. So what I decided to go with here in the front is a Pro X rotor, and the reason why I chose this one as opposed to staying with the OEM is just because it has a better look to it, and also it has increased cooling. So you can see there's more cooling areas on the rotor surface, and also it's got a fresh surface, so I'm going to have more braking power going forward. And when you're installing a new rotor, they are directional, so make sure you have it on there the right way, and then clean them off with some brake clean or contact cleaner to get some of the oil residue off that sometimes comes from the factory. And it's always a good idea to torque down rotors in a star or cross pattern. And for the rear, I decided to upgrade to the Pro X as well for pretty much the same reason. So if you guys are interested in checking them out, I'll have a link to them down in the description for you guys. So if you guys have been watching this build from the beginning, you'll know that Electron Fuel System sent over a carburetor for me to try out, which I'm going to explain to you guys why this carburetor is so cool here in a minute. But first, I'm going to hook up my throttle tube so I can install the carburetor. And I don't know about you, but one of my favorite things to have on a dirt bike is a smooth throttle tube. So I'm going to replace a couple parts on this and clean it out to get it working like new again. And as we go into the throttle assembly here, you can see it's really dirty in there. There's some of the frayed old cable and just some debris that got in over time. So definitely a good idea that we're cleaning this out. Alright, I'm going to go over to the parts washer and just clean all this stuff off, and I'll be back in a sec. Alright, now that everything's cleaned up and looks awesome again, I'm just going to put everything back together and make sure everything's greased that needs to be greased. And I like to install the throttle assembly, start off pretty much straight with the bar and then go from there. And then I'm going to make sure my throttle cable is perfectly lubed up so it doesn't fray like the last cable did. And then as far as cable routing goes on this bike for the throttle cable, we're going to tuck it here on the inside of the left fork and then slide it on the inside of the left radiator between it and the frame. And then we'll slide it down on the left side of this engine mount here, and that's where the throttle cable needs to go. And when you're installing a Electron carburetor, it's always a good idea to make sure you have your throttle cable installed into the throttle tube beforehand so you have tension on the cable so you don't risk damaging anything. So a lot of you guys have probably heard of these Electron carbs before, but if you haven't, basically the metering rod in the carb is tuned on a dyno to your bike specifically, and then it's automatically adjusting based on your altitude or temperature. So this is going to be perfect for my bike since I plan on using it on the track, but also on the trails where I'm going to be doing some change in altitude. So if any of you guys are interested in increasing the power on your bike or just don't want to have to worry about jetting anymore, I'll put a link to Electron Fuel Systems down in the description for you. So now that we got the carb all hooked up, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the radiator hoses. So when I was looking online, I saw the red ones and I thought those were definitely going to be the ones for this bike. But after I got them in, I kind of noticed that you could see it's a much lighter color than the cylinder head. It might be harder for you guys to see on camera, but they almost look pink, or they have like a salmon red tint to them. So I don't really want to run these. So after I got those red ones in, I decided I needed to order some new hoses, so I thought these blue ones might be cool. After looking at them, I'm not sure how I feel about them next to the color combo we have going here, but I'm going to install them today without the clamps. And if you guys have an opinion on how they look, put them down in the comments because I'm really trying to decide. So it does kind of have a cool effect with the cylinder head here, the blue on the red, but I already have a couple different color combinations going on this bike, so I might consider just getting a black one instead. Okay guys, what do you think? Blue, red, or black? Let me know down in the comments. And now I'll just install the front brake master cylinder and lever onto the bike. And it's probably good about right here for now, and I'll do some more adjustments later. So instead of running the stock clamp here on the back of this front master cylinder, I decided to run this Tusk kill switch, and it mounts right up to the stock master cylinder, and you have a kill switch already on the bike. You don't have to take up more space on your bars. And also I didn't have a kill switch since the other one was broken, so this was the perfect fix. Alright, now I can go ahead and install this brand new ASV clutch lever. And I picked up a brand new clutch cable as well, so I'm going to get that all lubed up and ready to go. And as far as the clutch cable routing goes, it's going to slide under your throttle and brake line, and then we'll push it inside the frame rail here and our radiator, and then we'll go around the right side of the engine mounts this time and come down right next to the ignition side of the engine. And then on this style of engine, I'll have to remove the ignition cover to allow me to attach the clutch cable. Now we can just install the clutch cable onto the lever here. This can be pretty difficult if your clutch springs on the other side of the engine are too tight, but in this case they weren't. Alright, and now I can finally install the primary drive X-ring chain that I picked up a while back. Alright, and after I got this chain on here, I realized it was too fat and it was rubbing up against the crankcase, so I'm kind of disappointed about that. I was hoping to get the chain on there today, but I'll just have to move on to something else. It's kind of how it goes when you use a lot of aftermarket parts. And now that I have the lever on here, I'm going to put on the rear brake master cylinder. And I went ahead and picked up a no-toil pre-oiled air filter.